Good morning, everybody. KT here with Wise Images Photography, and I want to say welcome to my channel if this is the first time you've ever been here, or just welcome back if you are coming back. I greatly appreciate you tuning in today. So, what we're going to talk about today is if you do not do this, you will regret this one of these days. Now, before I do go ahead and get into what we will regret if we don't do it, is I'm going to go ahead and give a shameless plug, because I was talking with a friend of mine and he says, hey, KT, guess what? You have this awesome resource and you're not sharing it properly. So I actually have a guide, an 11-page guide, and it's how to improve your photography in 5 easy steps, and it's absolutely free. The thing is when I put it in the description, it's not hyperlinked in like most of my videos. I didn't check all of them, and but everyone that was checked, the hyperlink is not working for whatever reason. So you would have to copy and paste it and then go ahead and put it into your address bar so that you can gain access to the 5 easy steps on how to improve your photography. So needless to say, I'm going to do my best to make sure that it is hyperlinked today for you all, so that way you guys can go ahead and grab your free guide. And like I said, it's about 11 pages worth of information with wonderful illustrations in it, so that you can see what you need to do to be able to help improve your photography. So if you feel like you need some extra help, definitely go grab that guide. And I would like to link it up here, but I still don't have access to that because I don't have enough subscribers. So needless to say, that is my shameless plug about going ahead and getting your guide, but it will help you out because it is really good information. So needless to say, let's go ahead and move on and let's talk about what if you don't do this one thing, you are going to regret it. And that is backing up your work. And I am actually going to go ahead and go through my backup system and what I do in different scenarios, because I do photograph different things. So first things first, I want you guys to know that I will tell you guys who I use as my backup system later on in the video, so stick around to the end. This is not a sponsored thing. This is like me just telling you guys how to keep from losing your work, because I almost lost my work, and if it hadn't been for that program, guys, you know what? I would have lost probably at least, I want to say at least 5 to 8 years worth of my work. But that system saved my images. And needless to say, let's move on. Now, the nice thing is I now have a D750, which actually has 2 slots in the camera. So actually, while I'm at the event, whether it be a wedding, which I really don't do weddings too often, I'm only doing one like in November, October of like next year, because a friend of mine like begged me. They're like, please do my wedding. And I'm like, okay. Because when I was in my 20s, that's when I did weddings. So whether I'm doing weddings or a corporate event, if I'm doing a photo shoot, I still do photo shoots for people. It's kind of hidden on my website, but I do headshots and branding, as well as I do a lot of portraits in regards to senior sessions. So now that I have a camera that has dual slots, I'm actually creating a backup while I'm on site, which is fantastic. So by the time I get home, hey, if one card fails, I have a backup already. So that's how I back up when I'm on events. Now, just in case you don't have 2 slots in your camera, and if you do weddings or whatever, one of the things that I used to do when I only had 1 slot for my memory cards is I would shoot like pre-ceremony on one card. Then when we would go to the ceremony, I would put in a new card, and then I would go ahead and do ceremony and formals on one card, and then I would switch over to another card and go ahead and start shooting the reception. And then once I filled up that card, I'd go back to the other 2 cards and add more reception onto them. The good thing about having 1 card, I guess, is like the cost is a little bit lower, right? Whenever you have 2 cards, now you have double the money in how many cards you have. But one thing I want you to think about you know, if you're shooting a wedding or something like that where you're getting lots of images, so you're probably going to need, you know, depending on what size your card is. And like I said, I don't like to put an entire wedding on one card. I like to put it on multiple, so that way if one card did fail, you didn't lose the entire wedding. So you would have to have more cards. But my thought process behind that is if you were to lose a wedding because you didn't create that backup while you were there, how much money would you be spending to fix that situation with that bride and that groom? And not only would it be a monetary thing, right? But it'd also be, oh my gosh, I lost these people's wedding. This is like something I cannot recreate again. And I don't know about you, but me personally, if I lost somebody's wedding, guys, I would feel so bad. Like, it would just break my heart. And so having that backup is really good. So I like the 2 slots, but if you only have 1 slot, I would say shoot on multiple cards, just so that way, if anything were to happen, you wouldn't lose the entire wedding. So I digress. So when it comes to when I shoot, like for example, headshots, portraits, you know, when I'm doing my senior sessions, one of the things that I do, and also like with weddings and corporates and when I shot those kind of things, what I would do is I would come home, I would put everything on my laptop. And because I had 2 cards of everything, I would actually save the 1 card and I would go ahead and format the other one, but I would save that 1 copy. And the reason why I would save that 1 copy is because I'd have 1 copy on my memory cards, 1 copy on my laptop. And then this is what I also would do is I would have a backup. I do have a backup storage, and I save also onto the backup storage. So now I have 3 places that my images are when I'm dealing with a client. And I will not delete that memory card and format that memory card until my clients have their images. Now, with that being said, that's what I do. You know, I keep it on that memory card until whenever. When it's my own personal stuff, like let's say I go out and I photograph some birds, I come home, I slap it on the laptop, I go ahead and format that memory card, but I have everything on a backup storage. Now notice that I keep on saying backup, not backup storage. I'm so sorry. I have it on a backup, a cloud backup. There is a difference between cloud backup and cloud storage. So if you have storage, because I want backup storage, think of like something that you can collaborate with others. Okay, so it's something that everybody has access to. You know, you guys share, you work on it together. Kind of think of like Google Drive. Okay, everybody can have access to it, right? A backup, a cloud backup is different because that is a system that you use that if it goes down, like if your hard drives go down and they fail and they go, the cloud backup is an off-site backup system. So in other words, you would be able to pull from this backup and it's going to be able to come back to your computer or your drive and be re-uploaded. And that is what saved me. It was the backup system, because what happened is I decided that I was going to go through all my old drives and I cleaned them all up. And I did this with the sole purpose of knowing that I wanted to do a backup on all of my hard drives. So I cleaned up all my old hard drives, and then I got a new hard drive, but I got a terabyte hard drive. And the reason why I got a terabyte worth of images, or a terabyte worth of hard drive, is because I wanted to bring all my old drives and put them on this one so that I could back them up. So I did that. And then I put all my new stuff on there. And what happened is one day that terabyte drive decided to go kapoof. And if it had not been for Carbonite, which is my backup system, Carbonite.com, like I said, not sponsored, but they saved me. It's like $119 a year. Very worth it, because had I not had Carbonite, I would have literally lost like I would have lost probably 5 to 8 years worth of stuff, because remember, my older stuff, I already still have it on another drive, right? So the thing is with, and I have another way to back up your stuff too, and I'm going to share that in a little bit. But the thing is if I hadn't had that Carbonite system, I would have lost my images, plain and simple. It did take me almost a whole week to be able to recover those files, but it was worth it. Like I said, it was 120 bucks. So that is kind of my system on how I back up my stuff. I keep it in 3 spots when it comes to clients, and I only basically keep it in 2 spots when it comes to myself. So memory card on my computer on the Carbonite system. For myself, it's on my computer and then on the Carbonite system. Now, there's another way that you can also back up your images. And a lot of times we don't do this. And it's called printing up your images. Print them up. The nice thing is I have a calendar that I sell at the end of the year. And I pick out like my 12 favorite photos. Actually, normally 13 images go in there because there's like a note page or something like that. But I put my images to print, and I put those 12 or 13 images that are my favorite images, and they go to print. That way, you know, I don't have to worry about a file damaging. I don't have to worry about, you know, the drive crashing. And, you know, yes, prints can get damaged too, just like a file that goes to a gray screen, right? I don't know if you guys ever seen that before. But it's nice, you know, and things can happen to prints, right? They could get burnt up, they can get torn, they can be ripped, you know. I put a luster coating on all of my images when I do my client stuff, so that way it doesn't risk being faded and stuff like that, unless I just left it right out in the sun. But, you know, I make sure that I print up a handful of my images every month, or not every month, every year, for that calendar, for that strategic purpose of not losing my images in case something goes wrong with technology. Guys, you also want to back up, because you guys know that technology changes all the time, and who knows when that technology will be obsolete. And if you don't keep on top of it to keep changing to different formats, then you end up losing your work or whatnot. Think about how we used to have, talking about video, you know, we used to have VHS, and then we had DVDs, and then we had mini DVDs, and then now we don't even use DVDs half the time. Like everything's like MP3s, MP4s, and you know. So just keep in mind, print would be the one way that you wouldn't have to constantly change. You wouldn't have to change that technology. So I hope that you guys found this helpful, and I hope that something that I said makes you think about, hey, wait a minute, you know what? I really haven't printed up any images of my family. You know, I need to do that. And plus, the nice thing is when you print something and you display it, you walk in and you can see your family on your wall, or you can see some of your favorite photographs on the wall, and you get to enjoy them. You know, how often do you really jump on your computer to go look at images? How often do you really jump on your phone to go look at images? I mean, we do, but if it's something you really, really like, I would really suggest getting it printed. And that's one of the reasons why in all of my photography packages that are for like portraits, like senior sessions and whatnot, family sessions, that's why in all of my packages, I personally offer print, just so that way the families have something in print that they can enjoy and see on a daily basis. So that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you found it useful. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you think this is an important video, an important lesson for other people to learn, so that way they don't lose their stuff. And I want to say, you're awesome. Have a fantastic rest of your week, and I will see you later, alligator. Have an awesome day.